Earth. Most people on Earth live in moderate temperatures around the globe, but some places on Earth boast such extreme and fascinating weather. Today, we're going to take a look at the top 10 coldest places on this planet. Can you guess where they are, or what these places look like? How cold can it really get, and do people actually live in these places? Before we start, I think this particular place in Norway deserves a special mention. It's a place called Hell. There is a place in Norway named Hell, and it deserves a special mention because it has a subarctic climate. The temperature here can drop to negative 25 degrees Celsius, which is also negative 13 degrees Fahrenheit. This means Hell literally freezes over on average a third of the year. Tourists from all over the world come and trek to Hell to photograph themselves in front of the town's train station signs. So next time you plan a trip to Norway, don't pass up on a chance to visit Hell. And now the top 10 coldest places on Earth. Are you ready? Number 10, Ulaanbaatar in Mongolia. Winter temperatures in this place have dropped to negative 42.2 degrees Celsius, which is also negative 44 degrees Fahrenheit. In fact, it's so cold here that the ground is frozen and makes building anything difficult in some parts of the city. To solve this, people in the suburbs often just live in round tents called yurts. And tied for number 10 is the city of Harbin, located in the far northeastern region of China. Like Ulaanbaatar in Mongolia, temperatures here have dropped to a freezing negative 42.6 degrees Celsius. But what makes this city really interesting is that despite its cold, it's home to over 10 million people. 10 million people live in this cold city. Known as the Ice City, Harbin hosts one of the largest ice festivals in the world each year. With weather so cold, forget about sightseeing. I would be part of the ice sculptures, and who said I never participated? Next on our list is number 9, Barrow, Alaska. Barrow is located just a mere 515 kilometers north of the Arctic Circle. Profoundly isolated, it is the northernmost city of the United States. Temperatures here have dropped to a freezing negative 49 degrees Celsius, or negative 56 degrees Fahrenheit. And as if that weren't bad enough, in November, the sun sets and doesn't reappear until the end of January. Super cold winds gust down and Barrow becomes one of the cloudiest places on Earth. It is completely overcast more than 50% of the year. And if that still doesn't sound cold, then imagine this, ice fog. Ice fog occurs only in really cold areas of the world, as water droplets freeze into tiny crystals and are suspended in the air. Ice fog can be quite common in interior and northern Alaska since the temperature frequently drops below negative 40 in the winter months. To knock number 9 out of the arena is Canada. At number 8, we have Yellowknife in the Northwest Territories. In 2014, Yellowknife was given the title of the coldest Canadian city. The coldest temperature on record is negative 51 degrees Celsius or negative 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Located on the Canadian Shield, which was scoured down to rock during the last ice age, Yellowknife is a great place to view the aurora borealis due to its long and clear winter nights. People also enjoy ice fishing in these areas, but during colder periods when the temperature sinks to negative 29 degrees, it becomes very hard to keep a fishing hole open, and if it's extra cold, don't forget to throw on a plastic bag. Next on our list is number 7, taken by the city of Norilsk in Russia. With over 175,000 residents, Norilsk is the northernmost city in the world with a population of over 100,000. With temperatures that can drop to a chilly negative 53.1 degrees Celsius or negative 63.6 Fahrenheit, Norilsk claims the title of being the coldest large city on the planet. But you don't want to get caught in Norilsk in the winter, and it's not just because of the cold. I mean, yes, that's frightening too. But since Norilsk is a nickel mining city, it is also one of the most polluted in the world. Smelting is directly responsible for severe pollution, acid rain, and smog. And to add on to this, the city is covered with snow for about 250 to 270 days a year, with snowstorms for about 110 to 130 days. So yes, next vacation spot, not Norilsk. Canada again claims the number 6 spot on our list with a place called Snag, located in Yukon. Wielding the title of the coldest spot in Canada, Snag recorded a temperature of negative 63 degrees Celsius or negative 81.4 Fahrenheit. That's the lowest recorded temperature in the continental North America. Winter is basically the only season here. Locals have noted that because of the weather conditions, voices can travel on for miles. And yes, ice fog occurs here as well. And as if that wasn't enough, in 1950, a Douglas C-54 aircraft carrying 36 passengers and a crew of 8 disappeared in the vicinity of Snag when the last contact was made by radio. No wreckage or remains have ever been located. The number 5 spot goes to Yakutsk in Russia. During the harsh winter, temperatures have dropped to a bone-chilling negative 64.4 degrees Celsius or negative 83.9 Fahrenheit. How cold is that? It's so cold that when truckers make resupply runs, they don't turn off their engine for the duration of the 2-week trip. With some of the harshest winter conditions, the people of Yakutsk have some sound advice for you. Don't wear glasses when you're outside, because the frames will get frozen to your face. That's terrifying. So at negative 64 degrees Celsius, what survives in these parts? Surprisingly, brown bears, wolves, and eagles all thrive. Next on our list is Iceland in Greenland, which takes number 4. Located in the middle of Greenland, Iceland was a German weather station. The conditions are so brutal here that temperatures have been recorded to drop down to negative 65 degrees Celsius or negative 85 Fahrenheit. Can you imagine living here? No? Well, in 1930, Ernest Sorge, who was a member of the Alfred Wegener expedition to central Greenland, hand-dug a 15-meter deep pit adjacent to his snow cave. He then proceeded to live here for 7 long months, studying the near-surface snow from inside his pit. Yay, science! And just so you have an idea of how cold that can be, when temperatures dropped negative 7 degrees Celsius, which is 17 Fahrenheit, in Norway with a strong wind chill, thousands of herring which had swam too close to shore were trapped and instantly frozen and killed. Now imagine negative 65 degrees Celsius, or negative 85 Fahrenheit. Yikes! Taking our spot at number 3 are 2 cities in Russia tied. The first is Verkhoyansk, located in the deep Siberian wilderness, boasting a population of 1,300 winter warriors. Verkhoyansk was used to house political exiles from the 1860s to the early 20th century and was part of an area dubbed Stalin's death ring. And it's no wonder considering temperatures dropped to a record low of negative 67.6 degrees Celsius or minus 89.7 Fahrenheit. The inhabitants here leave their cars idling in the parking lot for hours while they shop and run errands. They're also familiar with reheating frozen axle grease with a blowtorch, Russian skills. In the summer, when temperatures aren't as brutal, they hunt for hare and moose and then just throw it in their basement. That's all it takes to refrigerate them. And if you think staying in is safe, think again. Houses sometimes snap in two when the ice beneath them weakens and shifts a little. And you can't stay outside either. With temperatures similar to the average annual temperature of Mars, no one can stay outside for more than 15 minutes. The only way to prevent death is to wear pelts, skins of animals that live above the Arctic Circle, and to keep moving. What happens physically at and below negative 40 degrees Celsius is that air can no longer retain any humidity. That means any water vapor will instantly fall down as ice dust. This phenomenon will gradually suck out liquid from your body through your lungs, making you constantly thirsty and cause coughing. Bronchitis and pneumonia are common among the residents, especially the children. The mayor has said that he doesn't know what the normal suicide rates are for the Arctic towns, but that a few people kill themselves each winter in Verkhoyansk. He talks about it as if it were a sensible thing to do. And just to top it off, in 2012, a pack of 400 wolves descended on the town, forcing the locals to mount patrols on snowmobiles until the government could send extra help. The Agricultural Ministry reported that the wolves killed 313 horses and over 16,000 reindeer. Brutal. Tied with Verkhoyansk is Oymyakon, Russia. Recorded temperatures have dropped to freeze-worthy -67.7 degrees Celsius or -89.9 Fahrenheit. With 500 people living here, this place is considered the northern pole of cold. The ground is permanently frozen and it is the coldest officially recorded temperature in the northern hemisphere. In this town, schools stay open through -52 degrees. So next time you feel like it should be a snow day, just think of oymyakon. With all kinds of strategies to stay warm, the Russian favorite is vodka because at these inhospitable temperatures, a person's unprotected face can become frostbitten in a few seconds, even from a random wind. At these kinds of temperatures, exposed skin freezes. It's so cold it hurts to breathe. Cold seeps in wherever it can, and everything is stiff. Just existing outside hurts. Forget winter activities and games. There is no way. And so what is it really like to live in this place? Well, diesel freezes at -50 degrees Celsius, which is -58 Fahrenheit. The residents are experts at lighting a bonfire beneath a fuel tank to keep it from freezing. Extremely cold temperatures can cause hyperthermia and bring on uncontrollable shivering, memory loss, disorientation, incoherence, slurred speech, drowsiness, and exhaustion. But that's not the worst. In permafrost zones where the top few feet of the ground is frozen, it's difficult to bury the dead. To dig a grave, the townspeople have to light a bonfire for about an hour to thaw the ground a bit. They then dig for a couple of inches and then repeat the process for a couple of days until they're able to bury the coffin. Then in the summer, where the ground tends to thaw a bit, large buried objects can rise to the surface. Yes, that means buried coffins can rise back to the surface after a few years. Before we get to our top 2 coldest places on Earth, we believe that Denali in Alaska, also known as Mount McKinley, deserves an honorable mention here. This mountain in Alaska is considered the coldest mountain on the planet, with temperatures sinking to -73 degrees Celsius or -100 degrees Fahrenheit. With a wind chill, that number can plummet to a deathly -83.4 degrees Celsius or -118 degrees Fahrenheit. So yeah, now I know which places to steer clear of, unless of course you're an adventurer with a thirst for extremes. Which brings us to number 2, Vostok Station in Antarctica. Antarctica is the southernmost continent of this planet and is the site of the South Pole, a virtually uninhabited ice-covered landmass. Vostok Station is a permanent Russian research station, but it's not a place where you'd want to settle, and this is why. During the Antarctic winter, temperatures can drop to -89.2 degrees Celsius or -128 Fahrenheit. The wind chill can hit -124 degrees Celsius, and the polar nights can last for more than 4 months. Wow! According to NASA, metal in environments colder than just -18 degrees Celsius or 0 degrees Fahrenheit would be painful to touch and might cause skin damage. So you can imagine -124 degrees. Since Antarctica is a cold and inhospitable place, only a small number of species are found here. Most of the species cannot withstand the harsh environment of the Antarctica continent itself and live on or around the coast, particularly the Antarctica Peninsula, the northernmost part of the continent. Yeah, pass. And number 1 coldest place on planet Earth is taken by Plateau Station, Antarctica, champion of freezing temperatures. According to data from NASA, Plateau Station, Antarctica is home to the coldest recorded temperature on Earth. Temperatures here have dropped to -93.2 degrees Celsius or -135 degrees Fahrenheit. This is about 25 degrees Celsius colder than the coldest lows noted for any place humans live permanently. At a mere -37 degrees Celsius, frostbite can occur in as little as 10 minutes. So now you can imagine -93 degrees or -135 degrees Fahrenheit. Cold. At the coldest places, even humans don't live there. That's where we are. If you like my videos, please subscribe so I can buy a ticket back home to my planet.